The quiet, picturesque landscape of the English countryside is currently playing host to preparations for an event that manages to be simultaneously deeply exclusive and entirely personal. In the heart of Gloucestershire, tucked away among the rolling hills and historic stone villages of the Cotswolds, a significant gathering is quietly taking shape. This weekend, the peaceful atmosphere of All Saints' Church is being replaced by the steady hum of activity as florists, decorators, and event production crews arrive to transform the historic venue. Despite the characteristically unpredictable and wet British weather, a dedicated team is working tirelessly on the grounds, moving large decorative urns, structured installations, and a vast collection of carefully selected plants into the historic stone church. This is not just any weekend service or standard country wedding. It is the setting for a major gathering of the British royal family, marking a brand new chapter for one of its most private yet high-profile members. To stay completely up to date with every major developments and deep historical insights from behind the palace walls, make sure to subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an exclusive report. The man at the center of this weekend's celebrations is Peter Phillips, the eldest grandson of the late Queen Elizabeth II and the son of Princess Anne, the Princess Royal. At 48 years old, he occupies a unique position within the British monarchy, being 19th in the line of succession, but operating largely as a private citizen without an official royal title. This weekend, he is set to wed his fiancée, Harriet Sperling, a 45-year-old healthcare professional who has spent years working within the National Health Service. Insiders close to the couple have described the impending ceremony as an intimate but deeply significant affair, balancing the intense public interest that naturally surrounds the family with the couple's desire for a meaningful, localized celebration. The choice of venue is entirely deliberate, as the Cotswolds represents the very landscape where both Peter and Harriet spent their formative years, making the entire region deeply special and filled with personal history for them both. As the physical preparations continue under the overcast Gloucestershire skies, observers have noted that the visual aesthetic of this wedding seems to deviate significantly from traditional royal norms. Instead of the massive, towering arrangements of classic white roses, lilies, and formal floral displays that typically define a royal chapel, the initial deliveries to All Saints' Church suggest a much more modern, minimalist design philosophy. The focus appears to be almost entirely on lush greenery and architectural foliage, creating an organic, understated atmosphere that mirrors the natural beauty of the surrounding countryside. This aesthetic choice provides the very first real indicator of what the public and royal enthusiasts can expect from the high-profile weekend events, signaling a deliberate shift away from grand, old-world opulence toward a contemporary and thoughtful elegance behind the scenes. The logistical execution of this massive operation is being steered by one of the most prestigious luxury event planning firms in the United Kingdom. Bentley's Entertainments, a blue-chip firm renowned for orchestrating some of the most high-profile celebrity and high-society events of the past few decades, is overseeing every detail of the festivities. This is the very same elite production team that managed the legendary wedding of David and Victoria Beckham, multiple elaborate celebrations for Sir Elton John, and Princess Eugenie's spectacular Windsor wedding to Jack Brooksbank at St. George's Chapel. Furthermore, the firm is deeply familiar with the groom's family, having also overseen Peter Phillips' first wedding to Autumn Kelly back in 2008. The involvement of such a heavyweight luxury planner guarantees that despite the intimate scale and the minimalist design, every single aspect of the weekend will be executed with absolute precision and flawless style. The guest list for the ceremony naturally reflects the immense historical weight of the family, with a massive turnout of senior royals expected to descend upon the quiet Gloucestershire parish. Leading the congregation will be King Charles III and Queen Camilla, demonstrating their deep affection and support for the king's nephew. Joining them will be the groom's mother, Princess Anne, alongside her husband, Vice Admiral Sir Tim Lawrence, who have both been mainstay figures in the local community for decades. The Prince and Princess of Wales are also expected to attend the Gloucestershire ceremony, bringing a high degree of star power to the family gathering, alongside Prince Edward and Sophie, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh. The presence of the family's core senior members highlights the immense importance of the occasion, serving as a rare moment of joyful unity for the House of Windsor during a period otherwise marked by public duties and private challenges. However, as with any major royal gathering, the list of those who will not be in attendance speaks just as loudly as the list of those who are. While almost the entire immediate family is preparing to gather in the Cotswolds, certain prominent figures are notably absent from the guest list. Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, will not be making the journey across the Atlantic for his cousin's big day. Though Peter Phillips and Prince Harry were once exceptionally close, famously standing shoulder to shoulder during past family milestones and walking together during solemn processions, sources close to the family reveal that the two have simply lost touch over the last several years. The lack of communication means that no invitation was extended, highlighting the quiet drift that has occurred between various branches of the family. Additionally, Prince Andrew is also understood to be exempt from the weekend's guest list, ensuring that the focus remains entirely on the celebrating couple and the harmonious gathering of the immediate family unit. As the countdown to Saturday progresses, the sense of anticipation continued to build across the local community and among royal watchers globally. The juxtaposition of a quiet, foliage-focused country church ceremony with the presence of the reigning monarch and the future king creates a fascinating narrative. It is a wedding that seeks to honor personal roots and professional dedication, represented by Harriet's years of service in healthcare, while maintaining the dignity and elegance inherent to a descendant of Queen Elizabeth II. The stage is completely set, the decorators are finalizing the greenery installations, and the quiet roads of Gloucestershire are ready to welcome the royal convoy for an event that promises to be both a beautiful family milestone and a masterclass in understated modern elegance. The journey that has brought Peter Phillips and Harriet Sperling to the altar of All Saints Church this weekend is one defined by mature love, shared experiences, and a mutual understanding of what it means to build a life in the public eye while maintaining personal integrity. The announcement of their engagement last August came after they were first linked in the spring of May 2024, sparking a wave of genuine joy and delight across both of their families. For Peter, who has spent his entire life navigating the unique pressures of being born into the British royal family without ever holding an official title, finding a partner who matches his grounded perspective on life was paramount. Harriet, a dedicated professional within the National Health Service, brings to the relationship a deep sense of purpose and a background that, while connected to British high society through her late father, Rupert Sperling's relation to the Duke of Gloucester, is firmly rooted in the real world of public service and hard work. This upcoming marriage represents a fresh start for both individuals, who each bring their own unique histories and life lessons to this new partnership. Harriet is a fellow divorcee who understands the complexities of rebuilding a life after the end of a long-term relationship. For a decade, she raised her 13-year-old daughter, Georgina, as a single mother, an experience that shaped her character and deepened her resilience in ways that text alone can barely describe. In personal reflections shared over the years, she has spoken candidly about how she often found life as a single parent difficult, navigating times when material resources were scarce and the future felt entirely uncertain. During those challenging years, she likened the bond between herself and her daughter to an isolated island, making it hard to imagine anyone else ever joining that protected space. It was through these trials that she discovered a profound internal strength, leaning heavily on her deeply held Christian faith, which transformed from a dormant aspect of her youth into a vital, active source of daily comfort and guidance. The genuine warmth and acceptance that Harriet has received from the highest levels of the British establishment since entering Peter's life is a testament to her character and charm. Last summer, royal watchers took keen notice when she made a highly prominent appearance at Royal Ascot, sitting comfortably in the official carriage procession alongside senior members of the royal family. Photographers captured moments of light-hearted laughter and easy conversation between Harriet and King Charles III, a clear and undeniable signal to the public of how fully accepted and warmly embraced she has become within the firm. Her ability to seamlessly transition between the demanding, high-stakes environment of royal public appearances and the grounded reality of her professional and family life has endeared her to Peter's mother, Princess Anne, who has always highly valued hard work, discretion, and a no-nonsense approach to life. When Peter Phillips chose to pop the question last year, he did so with a magnificent engagement ring that carried an immense amount of emotional weight and historical significance. The sparkling ring features a subtle but incredibly touching tribute to his beloved grandmother, the late Queen Elizabeth II. The piece was commissioned and crafted by the very same historic luxury jeweler responsible for creating the late Queen's iconic 1946 engagement ring. By choosing a designer with such deep, multi-generational roots within the family's personal history, Peter managed to weave a thread of continuity and respect for his heritage into his future with Harriet. It serves as a beautiful nod to the late monarch, who held a notoriously close and affectionate relationship with Peter, her very first grandson, throughout her historic 70-year reign, for royal history experts and seasoned commentators. There is no doubt that this weekend's upcoming ceremony in Gloucestershire will look and feel vastly different from Peter's previous nuptials, which took place nearly 2 decades ago. Back in May 2008, Peter Phillips married Canadian-born Autumn Kelly in a grand high-profile ceremony held at St. George's Chapel within the historic walls of Windsor Castle. That event was a massive affair, drawing over 300 high society guests from around the globe, including 70 members of Autumn's extended family who flew in from Canada to celebrate the union. The guest list on that day was a star-studded assembly of the young generation of royals, featuring a young Kate Middleton attending one of her very first major royal family events alongside Prince Harry and Princess Eugenie. It was an event designed to showcase the glamour and global reach of the British monarchy, captured in the traditional grand style that the public had grown to expect from a royal wedding. However, despite the initial joy of that May Day, the 2008 wedding is frequently remembered in the annals of modern royal history for a highly controversial business arrangement that left senior members of the royal family deeply bewildered and intensely uncomfortable. The newlyweds signed an exclusive media deal with Hello magazine, granting the publication full, unrestricted rights to photograph the interior of the chapel during the ceremony, as well as the private reception hosted at Frogmore House. In exchange for this unprecedented access, the couple reportedly received a massive £500,000 payment, which was framed at the time as a substantial wedding present to help the young couple establish their new life together. This arrangement shattered decades of strict palace protocol regarding the commercialization of private family events, setting off alarm bells throughout the royal households. The resulting publication was a massive 100-page exclusive feature that dominated global newsstands, presenting an unprecedentedly candid and unvetted snapshot into the private lives of the world's most famous family. The pages were filled with remarkably informal photographs of senior royals, laughing, mingling, and letting their guard down in ways that were entirely a far cry from the traditionally stage-managed, perfectly curated photographs officially released by Buckingham Palace. Among the most talked-about images was a highly casual photo of Prince Harry, giving his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, an affectionate peck on the cheek during the reception. While the public found the images fascinating, the feature was exceptionally poorly received by the firm itself. Senior members of the family, including the late Queen and the then Prince Charles, felt completely blindsided by the widespread publication of these highly intimate moments. Having had no advance warning of the sheer scale of the magazine's access, the fallout from the media deal was swift and severe, prompting Buckingham Palace to break its traditional silence on private matters to release an official statement expressing immense displeasure, calling the commercial agreement a serious error of judgment. The controversy quickly spilled over into the political sphere, with prominent members of Parliament publicly chiming in to criticize the deal. claiming that the British public would be deeply shocked to see their reigning monarch featured in the pages of a commercial celebrity magazine alongside paid advertisements. The incident created a lasting tension and served as a stark cautionary tale within the palace regarding the dangers of blending commercial interests with royal privilege. Peter and Autumn would go on to welcome two daughters, Savannah, who is now 15, and Isla, who is 13, before ultimately making the difficult decision to separate in 2019. With their divorce being finalized amicably in 2021, as the final touches are placed on All Saints Church for this weekend celebration, the memory of that past controversy serves to highlight just how much Peter's perspective has evolved. The contrast between the grand, commercially driven Windsor wedding of 2008 and the quiet, minimalist, foliage-focused gathering in the Cotswolds this weekend could not be more striking. This time around, there are no multi-million-dollar media contracts, no massive camera crews inside the sanctuary, and no elaborate public spectacles designed for mass consumption. Instead, the focus has shifted entirely inward, toward creating a protective, intimate sanctuary where two mature adults can pledge their lives to one another in the presence of those who matter most to them. Following the conclusion of the private church service, the guests will transition to a reception hosted by the groom's family at Gatcombe Park, the private country estate of Princess Anne, ensuring that the entire day remains wrapped in an atmosphere of security, privacy, and genuine familial warmth. The choice of Gatcombe Park for the post-ceremony wedding reception is perhaps the most telling indication of the deeply personal and grounded nature of this weekend's celebration. Gatcombe Park, located in the heart of Gloucestershire between the villages of Minchinhampton and Avening, has been the private country home of Princess Anne, the Princess Royal, for 5 decades. It is a sprawling, working organic farm where Peter Phillips and his sister, Zara Tyndall, were raised completely outside the intense glare of the London media. By hosting the reception on these familiar grounds, the family is creating a safe, highly secure environment that allows senior members of the household, including King Charles III and Queen Camilla, to relax completely away from the public eye. The estate represents a sanctuary of normalcy for a family whose public lives are otherwise defined by rigid schedules and constant observation, making it the perfect setting to toast the new beginning of a couple who value privacy above all else. To fully understand the unique position Peter Phillips holds within this historic dynasty, one must look closely at his biography and the deliberate choices made by his mother at the time of his birth in November 1977. As the first grandchild of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, Peter's arrival was a momentous occasion for the British public. However, in an unprecedented move that shocked many traditionalists at the time, Princess Anne and her then-husband, Captain Mark Phillips, politely declined the late Queen's offer of an official royal title for their newborn son. As a result, Peter grew up without the prefix of His Royal Highness and without the burden of official state duties, allowing him to pursue a normal education at Gordonstoun School and a subsequent career in sports management and corporate hospitality. This deliberate choice has allowed Peter to walk a fine line throughout his 48 years, remaining a deeply loved and trusted member of the inner family circle while maintaining the freedom to live, work, and love as a private citizen. Harriet Sperling's entry into this unique family dynamic brings a fascinating and deeply respected personal background that beautifully complements Peter's world. Born into a family with strong historical connections of its own, Harriet's late father, Rupert Sperling, was a respected figure whose lineage linked the family directly to the Duke of Gloucester, a first cousin of the late Queen Elizabeth II. This means that while Harriet has spent her adult life working hard outside the elite circles of the court, she possesses an inherent understanding of the subtle codes, history, and responsibilities that govern high society life in the United Kingdom. Her career within the National Health Service as a dedicated healthcare professional has earned her immense respect among her peers and, more recently, within the royal family itself, where public service is viewed as the highest possible calling. Her journey through the challenges of single parenthood, which she has written about with immense vulnerability and grace, highlights a woman of deep substance, integrity, and profound emotional maturity. The presence of Peter's immediate family at the weekend festivities further underscores the tight-knit bond that exists within this specific branch of the monarchy. His younger sister, Zara Tyndall, alongside her husband, former England rugby captain Mike Tyndall, are understood to be central figures in organizing the family's personal celebrations. Zara and Peter have always shared an exceptionally close relationship, built on a mutual love of equestrian sports and a shared upbringing at Gatcombe Park. Mike Tyndall's warm, gregarious personality has long made him a favorite among the wider royal family, and his close friendship with Peter guarantees an atmosphere of genuine joy, laughter, and light-hearted fun during the private reception. The inclusion of Peter's young daughters, Savannah and Isla, alongside Harriet's 13-year-old daughter, Georgina, adds a beautiful, multi-generational layer to the day, symbolizing the harmonious blending of two families into a single supportive unit. As the final preparations culminate and the guests begin to arrive at All Saints' Church, the true significance of this wedding becomes clear to those who study the evolution of the modern British monarchy. It represents a masterclass in how the contemporary royal family can adapt to changing times, embracing modern realities such as divorce, blended families, and private careers, while maintaining the dignity and timeless elegance that the public expects. By choosing a minimalist, foliage-focused design aesthetic over grand, ostentatious floral displays, Peter and Harriet are sending a clear signal about their priorities. They are prioritizing substance over spectacle, focus over fame, and the quiet strength of enduring relationships over the fleeting allure of public celebrity. It is an approach that honors the legacy of the late Queen Elizabeth II, who always prized duty, faith, and family solidarity above all else. The gathering of senior royals in Gloucestershire this weekend also serves as a poignant reminder of the enduring strength of the House of Windsor during a period of transition. The presence of King Charles III, who has shown immense resilience and dedication to his duties, alongside the Prince and Princess of Wales, demonstrates a unified front and a deep commitment to supporting family milestones. In an era where public attention is frequently captured by disagreements and divisions, this weekend's quiet gathering in the Cotswolds offers a beautiful counter-narrative of unity, mutual respect, and genuine affection. It is a celebration of two individuals who have navigated life's challenges with grace, leaning on their faith, their professional dedication, and the unwavering support of their loved ones to build a bright, hopeful future together as the bells of All Saints' Church begin to ring out across the rolling green hills of Gloucestershire, marking the official union of Peter Phillips and Harriet Sperling. The historic venue stands as a silent witness to another chapter in the long history of the family. The wet weather and overcast skies do nothing to dampen the spirits of those gathered inside, where the warmth of family bonds and the beauty of the minimalist greenery create an unforgettable atmosphere. From the careful craftsmanship of the engagement ring that honors Queen Elizabeth II to the private sanctuary of Gatcombe Park, every single detail of this wedding has been thoughtfully designed to celebrate a mature, enduring love.